Come join me on my other social media, which I want to make my main one and only one. Live streams, etc. I'm not dissing any of you. It's just I have more than 1,000 subs on this one, and I just really want to relocate. Begin, not end here, although continue on. I looked again this morning, and I have only 26 subscribers there, and I have more than 1,000. And it's going to be pretty much the same format as here, although I just want to do it over there because of monetization, etc. The availability of it all. The title is The Urban Fairy Witch _ the Bellis Witch Avril, and a broom emoji. Find me there. As soon as I have another 25 subscribers, I'll be able to begin there soon. And here we'll continue over to there. I hope some and or all of you follow me there and subscribe. Have you not subscribed already? And do you want to? Why not? It's better there than here. The Forest Witch. The Urban Fairy Witch, the Bellis Witch Avril. Me. Here's your pills, Mom.
I need water.
It's in your room.
That's empty.
You drank the whole thing?
I think so.
Since yesterday, I only gave it to you last night.
Had all night.
Oh. Didn't you sleep any? Mary did pick that piece of paper off the floor. Here's your water. You never drink. Just had enough.
I must have had the empty one.
No, that's it.
No, I must have had the other one. I must have finished off the empty one. The one I emptied. I know I had no water. There's 2 flies in the house.
Yeah, you and me. Other people discussing all names of who, what, where, when, why, and how. They tried spread. They gave us their dirties. Dirty. Feet, water on the residence. That's what I said to your nurse, eh?
What?
Other people, feet. It wasn't us. It's other people. Feet. And oh, well, it's feet. Other people's feet that were here. It's their feet. But where's that dead? Not us, not her. It's them. Including when the staff, the alleged property manager, and the alleged site administrator came to inspect our balcony. I suppose somebody next door must have complained that the balcony was not up to par. That's all I could
And what
put it
did
to.
this say?
Somebody
And what did this say?
complained. And I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's all up to standard. If you don't want a balcony used, why is the balcony there? They could maybe that's what they're going to do one day. Remove all the balconies. Stupid. And they didn't have a proper notice of entry. They had to have just cause. And they never did. And I waited for how many? And they said that we're not the only balcony they were inspecting. Although, well, they showed by emails and everything. Although I was like, I didn't get a hard copy. I recall notices of entry. And I was like, and they should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not. Alleged inspections. We lived in condos before, and that wasn't allowed. That was part of the corporation thing. That's not property management. The alleged property management doing inspections at any day, week, month, year, and hour they seem fit. They had to give notices of entries and ensure I was available. Not allowed themselves in anything anymore. I mean, they weren't allowed to do that in the first place. I mean, the only time they were allowed to come in is when you had that alleged fall and you were supposed to, you couldn't, well, I was in the hospital trying to survive what we thought was COVID. It was influenza type A, the diagnosis, the test result, and that stuff. You came home. You were going to also bring back my toiletries and everything because we thought I'd stay longer, but because you got admitted to hospital, they let me out a lot sooner. And then I got sick sicker, and then I went to my doctor, and I got sicker, and then eventually the medicine worked, and I felt lots better. But that COVID vaccine took a lot out of me. It feels like the same flu symptoms have returned.
I had a real sore arm with it.
Me too,
And I
and
never
it's
had
swollen.
it before.
I know, me too. Influenza vaccine. And I remember when I sent links, evidence, those other people, other residents and their visitors, and my doctor and others said, send it to the corporation, let them have it, let them deal with it. What did they do? And then we got more across the hall and next door. Troublemakers. And we don't know if they've had influenza and or COVID. I mean, we've been around some other people that have. And what do I get? I get influenza out of it all.
Well, it's a common thing to get.
Yeah, common. Doesn't mean I want it.
No,
Although it was good, I lost 14 pounds. Looking back on it, I should have kept 14 pounds off instead of begrudged it all, although it was influenza.
God, it's cold.
Good morning, sweetie. COVID ruined my daughter's lungs and immune system. Oh, Joe B, I'm sorry about that. Do you want your Brazil nut? I did. You made something.
What? A rice cracker?
Rice cake.
Oh,
I have to wait 45 minutes before I can eat. Maybe. Nothing. Close in the container. Yeah, influenza took a lot out of me. That and the hot flushes, menopause, low blood pressure, sinus bradycardia, and high iron ferritin levels I had. Oh yeah, I'm lucky to be alive. And I hide it very well. I'm not autistic or anything. I just masked that. I hid that very well, that I wasn't feeling well. Acute, not chronic. In 2020, when it was first acknowledged. Oh, 2020. Oh yeah, the alleged lockdown, where we all had to close up everything that was public, including provided basic necessity services such as foods, beverages, and health cares. Oh yes, I remember all that. And I was like, and when they started to open up places that sell foods, beverages, and condiments, some people would yell at me, cover your face, you shouldn't be out and about. Maybe they were caring and they themselves didn't want it. Maybe some of them were caring about me and didn't want me to get that alleged COVID-19 severe acute respiratory syndrome. And then in the active out center in Mississauga too. Although, once it was placed on the surface, the mask and the things, that's it. It was garbage. It was either infectious, contagious, or just, it was not going to prevent anymore. It was not new. It didn't have that anymore. And especially when someone picked it up off of the floor and expected him to wear it off the floor. That public and more than 40 other people, 40 other feet had already walked on public footwears and everything. Their feet been through the mall and all elsewhere. And out in the parking lot, expecting me. And she's still there as staff. Allegedly, they're short of staff. More than a year ago, she should have been fired. Yeah, they kept her instead of me. Do you get your annual flu shot? Just curious. I've had the flu 3 times in my life. I'm now 63. I do most of the time get at least one every now and then influenza vaccine because I'm around other people. I try and get one once a year. And the COVID thing, I try and get supposedly every 6 months. I try and get it once a year. And I'm usually okay because I've been around other people that have had COVID, not in my home, but out in public. And I don't usually get ill. Sometimes I would get like migraine symptoms, and that would go away. Except in February, I had a severe flu, and and then I had my COVID vaccine this year, and it felt like it was influenza returning type A. I had a bit of and everything return. It was like, oh my God. And I'm just like, what's in the contents of Moderna exactly? Because it did not agree with me. I didn't go to hospital because I didn't want to waste time uh, there. I just waited out and treated it as if influenza. Although I didn't mask and I didn't glove because my mom and I got the same vaccine. And I've loved it, of course, because I'm not a liar. I'm not a stalker. And it's out there on one of my social media. And hopefully once my other channel builds, I don't know what to do. I want to come out as who I really am and do live streams and also have monetization. I He says it's up to me if I want it. My doctor doesn't get a COVID shot anymore. Yeah, mm, yeah, be pro-choice, I suppose. Because if you're gonna die, you're gonna die right. And COVID is just another variant of influenza, really. If you think about influenza, pneumonia, it's all the same. It's just how they named it, COVID. I mean, I did my research on the internet. I went back to the 1918s and earlier. And it's nothing new, really. It's just scientists haven't figured it out. It's like when the resurrection of mad cow disease and foot and mouth disease all returned in different variants of the influenza. It's just, there has been so many variants of COVID. I believe that it's just some scientists, it's the World Health Organization, right? And they misinformation. I just believe it's just another illness, much the same as influenza, and that doctors should, can, could, may, must, and need write up a doctor's note, and did the patient need to be absent from society in isolation, the doctor's note should be considered, and it should not be considered any dirtier an illness than influenza. Influenzas. I agree with you, Avril. Thank you. Alan Roberts should tune into this because he used to rave a lot about COVID-19 SARS and how it kills and it doesn't kill us and how he should and should not mask. He did that for over 2 years. He ranted and raved about it on social media. I'm sure it was him. Maybe I'm wrong. Allegedly. He's actually doing something today at 1 o'clock. I don't know I'm going to be available. I don't even have my earphones. I got a new cell phone, okay? And the earphones I was using don't fit this phone, which is okay because earphones give me migraines. And I really need that earpiece so that I can try and hear it when I'm in public so I don't miss, because it's fun to, you know, it's like news, and then tune into the news. I often Google the news. I find stuff out. And I think a lot of the COVID is other people, lack of hygiene. Not me, not my mom, not us Bellises, not all animals, all botany, all pets, all fur babies, us Bellises. I believe it was somebody else, more than one. And visitors nowadays, more especially staff from alleged staff from corporation, should not, cannot, could not, may not, must not, need not, or and wear their footwears, etc. That's been in public places in here because Floor, my cat paws, my cat was alive, bare feet, etc. Do you agree with child immunization? I do, sort of. That's some of the stuff that they blamed autism and other mm, mental health and or behavioral problems. Was it tendonitis, the booster, something years and years ago, the 60s and 70s, and it got worse. And they blamed that, and they came out with there was too many. They labeled it as autism. I believe there's good and bad. Not given. I'm not gonna not willingly conceive and give birth anytime soon and raise a child my own. Miscarriages, whatever, all historical, all geographical, and all financial. So my inoculating myself, that's my choice. In the long run, I feel it's better if I'm around when I'm around other people that have had influenza, COVID, colds. I just believe it'll make me more immune to it all. That and some more pharma. Especially when taking, because I've been grieving, mourning grief, an antidepressant, because I find that antidepressants can weaken my immune system. And I need something. It's like, you know, I can only take antibiotics or antibiotics as often as before the body might begin rejecting those medicines. Does that make sense? I wash my hands after shopping every time germs enter. And I sometimes used to, when I wipe the containers, packaging um, down with uh, a wet wipe kind of thing and wipe it down. Sometimes I don't. Gotta be careful not to overdo, I find, because overdoing can make the illnesses want to show up all the more. I did my research Edinburgh, Scotland, when they had the cholera outbreak. And they didn't even have marked graves. They just collected all the bodies and burned them or whatever. I'm sure it was cholera. Might have been some other illness, I don't know. And all the deaths that occurred, places such as Pakistan, India, Iran, Iraq, India, uh, Africa, Malaysia. There's lots of alleged inoculations, vaccines, and oral, all before, during, later, and since traveled out of North America and elsewhere. I believe that's the cause of most all of it is travel. Planes. Not local travels, like small. I'm talking about big travels. Planes, trains, uh, ships, all that. Especially when there's one, you know, and the World Health Organization, who allowed us to be as sick as we all were. They should, can, could, may, must, and need those other people held liable. Anybody and everybody that's ever had, what was the influenza type A? When was the influenza epidemic? The COVID-19 SARS pandemic? All of us should have got financially retribution by the governments. The World Health Organization held responsible for all those illnesses and alleged deaths, all the sick. I also wiped down shopping cart items. That's good. That's good. And I like gardening, botany, and I like my plant. And I don't care the staff blaming my plant for anybody on COVID. and her influenza. They're liars, as per to usual. And outside fairies garden, any gardening, any and all gardening. It wasn't us. And it wasn't my pussycat Rudy Noel. It was themselves. They were out there in public. They chose to be public. They didn't do the precautions necessary before entered here. And other residents and their visitors. So many, it was too gross. And then trying to find a maid. Somebody that promised me to come back at least once, refusing to come back. She sent me a text message. I've been phoning and phoning and phoning. And she's like, oh, instead of keeping her promise, she's like, oh, been out of town. I haven't got anyone available. Person that was with you isn't available anymore. And I'm like, and then she was, oh, I haven't got anyone. I was asked, what? Why don't you keep your promise? Isn't it when you get staff that promise to come back at least once, and they refuse to come back? Themselves, their own mental health, their own emotional health, their own physical. Well, I mean, she could have admitted to me she wasn't feeling well. I mean, that way I would have kept more private and confidential. Although it was, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another text. I should go check. See if she's coming. I won't tell you anymore if she is. She didn't reply to me since I mentioned that as she promised, meaning since she texted me this morning saying she didn't have that same person available and she didn't have anybody available. She was out of town, etc. Walmart has wipes before you enter the store. Friends can turn on you. It says, yeah, sometimes when I see those wipes, I don't always use the first wipe. I use the wipe underneath sometimes. So, because that one's been airborne. I like those little wipes, the little square ones. I wish I could get a packet of them. I could put one in my purse, a box of them, put them in my purse and just have them so handy so that, before and or later, since eating out, I can just get my hands quick. I remember sanitizers, gels, and then I was in a store once and they had these pumps of it. The pumps were airborne. Everything was airborne. I mean, they should have been packaged in a natural package so that wasn't airborne because how sanitary it defeated the purpose. Didn't even have a lid. It was just an actual pump. Friends can turn on you. It's so sad. Thank you for the info. Yeah, I hope my information helps. I don't want to see anybody sick. I don't want to see and hear anybody sick. I don't want that. I never have, never will. When my cat's sick, and I haven't felt well since, well, this happened in 2006. I had my accident. And then symptoms, behaviors, am I getting better? And then I had that. I felt better. I was like, oh, I like this neighborhood. I'm going to go out and exercise and do some outdoor walk fit. I had that accident and I went to the hospital. I was showed and told by that most incompetent, not employable doctor, oh, simple bruising. You're just bruised. Didn't care about anything. Didn't care about my hands, didn't care about my arms, didn't care about anything. Just looked at my knees and said, I never fully recovered from that. Then, got over that, and then 2019, I had a concussion, more than one headache. As I got over that, then 2021 happened, and then 2024, my mom alleged brother, Marvin Thompson, youngest brother, threw that suitcase at me, and all other times was 2 at on and out from Bellis's, including Central Parkway Mall and Active Adult Center, Mississauga, and Square One Older Adult Center, and Square One Shopping Center, Mississauga Senior Citizen Center, and PSCC. That's PSCC 850, etc. And who knows where else. Maybe I'll find out more later. I'm sorry you've had bad experiences with medical personnel. No, yeah, you know. And then with the influenza, had my mom not come to the hospital as she did, since I had to phone security and I had to phone the paramedics, bedridden myself, trying to survive what I thought was COVID, instead influenza type A, acute. They discharged me. It took me more than a week and a half before I actually began feeling better. It took a toll on me. It was very draining. And I remember before the second week was over, I was vomiting. Oh, vomiting. And that was a lot of vomiting. And then I felt better. I decided to attend a public event where I worked. I was well enough. I couldn't do anything, not complain. I was discharged from the hospital, having fainted once more, March 19th. And then May, I did again. Went to the hospital, had all the vomit in my hair. It's happened before. When I'm sick, I'm sick. And the vomit was in my hair and on me and everything, and it was just, I felt like I vomited up at 1 or 2 bones, one of my ribs, God only knows what else. It was awful. And I tried to get the paramedics to go get what looked like my rib or something to hand it to staff. And when the doctor or technician was doing the ultrasound thing, the test, and pressing down here, I was like, oh, stop. That's too painful. Stop. Do you think so? Whatever injuries occurred before, on top of it all, I was just a mess. And then felt better. And then again in June, I still blamed the influenza for most of it and menopause. Low pressure could have had a bit to do with it, and sinus bradycardia when it dropped below 45, below 50, 49 and below. Although, and then there was other people around, lots of other people, and some tried to help me. Although I sort of recognized them from media, mainstream media and internet media, and I was like, not a good day. Not a good day. I was like, Mom, can you phone for an ambulance, please? Somebody actually helped my mom phone, called the ambulance for my mom phone. And I asked for my phone, my handheld device. I'm like, can I video make this? I want to make a vlog of that. Nearly dead, almost. Did I hit my head? I didn't remember. I tried to use my arms to take the fall, and my arm hurt here and here. My wrist broken. This one, soft tissue injured, I suppose sprained. And they didn't diagnose this as broken. And then they casted this. They lied that this is a straight cut. It was an accident. It's not a straight cut. And when they took the cast off, the person was, I can't find the fracture, the breaks. I'm like, and I looked at the x-ray and I'm like, whose wrist is that? Yours? And I said, it can't be. That can't be mine. It wasn't a straight cut. It was cooking and I missed, and I went to cut the bone and the meat, everything, and I missed, and I cut my wrist more than once. It wasn't a straight cut. It was an accident. That's not chronic too, that's acute. And that's possibly because I was dealing with the meat. I believe it was chicken. But then again, I might be wrong. It could have been pork, it could have been beef, it could have been veal, it could have been anything. It's been a while. It's been more, than 18 years now. And some of that meat was on the knife and it got into me. And I've never fully recovered from that, but then again, if it's influenza type, I no freaking wonder. No wonder. No, no wonder. And again, don't blame me. Again, the staff should have cleaned that all up several times over and closed it sufficiently so that I don't have to return. And did I need a blood transfusion? Yeah, possibly when and if they put enough blood in me. Because they had to not pump my blood in me. This is not all my blood, you know. I had to have blood pumped in me, uh, in order to come back. It was really scary. They had to make my blood that was remaining, in addition to that, later, whenever. They had to put stuff in me to make my blood cells reproduce more blood. Blood. It wasn't just a 1 day thing stitched and away you go. That wasn't me. It was really an awful, it's not a straight cut. It's not even a straight scar. And some other people would never have survived it as well as I have. That's why I like to wear that black thing on my wrist when I'm sleeping, because it just gives me that extra support that I go to sleep and I know it's bandaged up, and I just don't like wearing it during the day. And maybe I'll have to start wearing it more often because I've tried to cut my own food like I'm supposed to, and I couldn't. My wrist, this hand wobbles. Doesn't matter the cup, so I'm back to just one-handed. I have to cut my food before I serve and eat it more. It's annoying, although at least I tried, and I showed and told I tried. And I can use it a lot better. I'd be an excellent bingo caller more. They just have to turn up the volume a whole lot, a whole lot, because their circumstances for more than 18 years, a lot. And I've had vocal strain since June 5, when that happened to me, and I was banshing all over the place trying to get help. Banshing, I was yelling, very painful, bloody painful. Managed to coagulate, stop the bleeding. Here I am. I'm alive. And I've had a spider bite. That was an open wound. And during all that influenza type A epidemic, influenza epidemic, and COVID pandemic, those things alleged, oh, it was a nasty bite. It wasn't my cat. My cat ate the spider. My cat ate the spider. Actually, that's when my cat's health started to deteriorate a little bit. And another time later, it was like a spider, and my cat ate it. But that spider bite ended up with me in the hospital. The paramedics came because I couldn't stop the bleeding. It was just coming out of me, and I was getting tired when considering who I am. And the paramedics we had to get a wad, a maxi pad of some kind or other tampon, place it there. And then when we actually had me admitted, hospital emergency, the staff were like, "Oh, she's the scab picker." I'm like, "What?" Never did that day in my life. I've never did that day in my life. That was not a scab that was being picked yet. They tried to write it off as that. They wouldn't do anything. I kept coming and going, and it was just an open, bleeding wound. And I kept testing myself. I'm not diabetic. It wouldn't heal because they wouldn't get stitches or anything. They just would not put the stuff on it to heal. I walked around with an open wound, and I had bandages galore on it. It wasn't even a boil. And that I had a boil. They tried to say it was a boil, like it was a spider bite. It was a bite. It wasn't even my cat. My cat ate the spider. The only thing that helped me was Dayquil and NyQuil. Do you also experience bad dreams when you are influenza? I did. I don't remember. Were you diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome? No, this was actually an accident. It was my kitchen at my kitchen sink, and I was cooking food. Well, I was getting ready to cook food, and it was meat, and I was using this very sharp knife, and I was like not necessarily cutting, I was chopping, and I missed, and I chopped my wrist. I was lucky I didn't chop it off, although I would spend hours on trying to get reattached, and it says it reattached. They did pretty good, when and if they admit to it. Were I to need any more stitches, oh, I'd do that. I'd gladly get more. I don't care. I'd gladly, especially now that my cat is died dead. I get them because you can see since the injuries that I've incurred, 24, 20, 25, it's a bit swollen around here. When my hand was broken in 2020, whatever, it was like that, and it had a big swelling. It was so swollen. It was too swollen to even been casted. And some people were like, "Oh, it's not broken." I'm like, "It's not broken." Yeah, I looked it up, and I've seen my X-rays before. They buggered it all up and tried to hide because they were mentally ill and didn't want to be in social media and or mainstream media with us Bellises. It was broken. Rest, splints, and it's fine. I, you know, I strongly believe I have strong bones. I have strong bones. What foods, beverages, and supplements I put in me, and honey, it's kept me going. I'm just thankful I did not hit my face. I gave up my left forearm and left hand, saved my face, my hands and forearms. I don't believe I should, can, could, may, must, and need diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome. I don't have it. It's been one accident after the other, and any doctor that's ever mentioned that to me, incompetent, themselves some misinformation. My medical history showed and told paramedics, and even a hairline fracture of the wrist will cause unbearable pain. Oh, isn't that true? I went to the doctor, my doctor, and I was like, I need something. My knees are sore, painful, it's just below my knee, everything painful, and my wrist. Oh, and I was like, and I don't think he believed me very, because I was happy about it, because considering you see the scar and the injuries I've had, the fact that I had hardly any, I still don't get full feeling in my thumb. I can hit it and pound on it and everything. I don't feel that like I'm really hitting it hard, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. The stitches, everything is staying, and it doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt like it wouldn't somebody else since that accident. Although I've got more use out of it, and and I can pop it like I used to. I can do lots more. Although I can not hold a guitar, I cannot hold a ukulele like I used to. And I'm gonna have to wrap this up today because it's gonna feel pain. And I just wanted to stay still because it was broken and soft tissue injury. I'm just showing that it's not carpal tunnel. It's just an injury, some injuries, wounds, and it's healing. And I can use it. It's just painful. And my doctors were like, looked at me, and I was so happy about it because it was so damaged when I had that accident. I couldn't feel my hand for a long time. I couldn't even hold my hand and wrist up. I could never did all that I did today. 2007, even later than that. It wasn't until about 2010 that I started to get more use out of my wrist, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to exercise 1 pound. I got up to being able to do this over my head, 8 pounds. 8 pounds. That's lots considering this hand. So, and then having all the setbacks this year, and now the pain. Because I was smiling most of the time, they were like, it's bullshit. She's just a drug addict. I got this. This is not a drug addict thing. It was external. It was ruining some of my clothes that needed severe washing because it stuck to my pants, and when I pulled my pants off my knees, I felt like my skin from my knees was just coming off. And it wasn't until I took my pants off that I looked and said, "Oh wow, my knees have skin." I'm like, I had wrist surgery 5 years ago because a nerve was pressing on my thumb joint. Yes, I don't know what it is. I tried to take up music more because I used to play musical instruments when I was younger, and I took up ukulele and I couldn't do it. And I can't remember how to read. Well, I can vaguely remember reading music, vaguely, vaguely, and couldn't hold a ukulele. It was too painful even to press my fingers on the string. It was too painful, and it just I was too. It was just. And then there was a guitar, and I was like, oh, I put my hand up there and I can remember some. That's pretty good. But then I had to hold the whole thing and I didn't. And then doing drum fit, holding those drumsticks. That was fun. There was another instructor since her. And then that just stopped. And when I did sit and dance, I could use tambourine. What kind of music did you prefer? Orchestra, pop music. My favorite songs, popcorn. You ever hear popcorn?